What up?
So, you know what day it is? Thursday.
Out with the old, in with the new. So today's topic will be cars. Yeah, so we will be talking about how cars transitioned from back in the day when we grew up as kids to now. All right.
It's so much.
It's so much. Like, I remember, like, oh my God. Cars were so amazing back in the day. So amazing. All right, we'll get into it.
All right, so first picture. All right, so 70s, 80s, 90s, early 2000s.
Wow.
It's like so different.
So, by the way,
see from the picture,
the 70s vehicle is a Plymouth Barracuda. The 80s is a Camaro. The 90s is like a Ford Taurus. And the early 2000s is a Grand Am, Pontiac Grand Am. Mm-hmm. So let's get into it. So the 70s were, look at that car. Metal.
A metal box on
body.
Wheels.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
If you get into an accident in that car,
people will still live.
You will still live. You literally will still live.
Be a little banged up, but
now the person that got hit, if you got hit by that car, yeah, it'll be a bad day for you.
It's done.
But those cars were flipping amazing. Even the inside, the seats, everything. I think my uncle had a car that was similar to this. Mm-hmm. He was a firefighter, so it was really nice. You can never go wrong with the old school classic cars.
Yeah. My grandpa had an old school Cadillac, candy apple red, soft top. Mm-hmm. The body similar to this, but not like exactly, but a little similar. He gave it to my dad, and I don't know what he did with it, but I remember going to church in that car, and the leather seats were so like pillowy, and they were pillowy but firm at the same time. I always fell asleep in the car as a kid, so the car was always like a relaxing space for me.
Yeah. Right. We got to get us old school, by the way.
Yeah, we will. We'll have a few.
All right, so let's go to the Camaro.
All right.
So the Camaro reminds me of Back to the Future.
Right, yeah, exactly.
That was that time era, like, oh my God, the cars, they still were nice. Mm-hmm. They still were metal. Mm-hmm. They kind of like remind me of video games almost, like. Mm-hmm. But, oh man, I used to love the cars back in the 80s.
I feel like cars in the 80s were like not like they were a little more heavy than they were in the 70s body wise. A little bit, like
that car heavier than the 70s.
Well, it depends on the make and model.
No, over the years it got lighter. The material, they started using lighter and lighter metal material over the years, and now they don't even use metal anymore.
Right, it's all fiberglass.
It's all fiberglass.
Terrible.
And so the 90s, oh my God. Looking at that Ford Taurus remind me of my first car. I had a Mazda 626. I will never forget it. It's kind of like the same build. Mm-hmm. I rode that car till the damn wheels fell off, literally. And it was made, like I said, over the years, the cars started getting made cheaper and cheaper by the year. Yeah, I'll never forget that car. I remember banging into the curb, and I had a big old, we call it, so the bubble, if you get a bubble in your tire, we call it a titty.
Oh, I used to hate getting those.
So I had a big bubble on the side, and then on top of that, my transmission was shit, so, man, yeah. But that was my first car.
Okay, so it was weird. I had two first cars, kind of. So the first car was a Honda Accord with the hatchback. What was it? The back that was like a hatchback.
Oh yeah.
It was a 2-door basically. Mm-hmm. And my dad was trying to fix it up, tinted the windows for me. He ended up keeping that car to commute to work, and he ended up having me get an Integra. GS Integra. Y'all, I love that little car. I used to drive myself to Standard Brothers. I was so proud. My little first job, fucking going. But yeah, I like that car. And another car that I remember from the 90s is the Toyota 4Runner. Mm-hmm. because we used to go off-roading in the mud. You felt safe, you sat high up enough, and it wasn't cheaply made, and it lasted forever as long as you took care of it, and it did last forever. It lasted to like, I'm pretty sure like the mid-2000s, and it was like a 95, I think.
Yo, they definitely had some cheap cars in the 90s.
Oh, yeah.
Remember Neons? Them little bitty, they were like the cheapest cars ever. Neons, Geos.
Wasn't a Tempo?
Ford Tempo, yeah.
The Fun with Dick and Jane car? Oh my god. Oh wow.
And then you got the Grand
Early
Dam.
2000s.
Those Pontiac Grand Dams were very popular.
They were. A lot of people had those. It was always the brown one, or the gray one, or the white one.
Yeah.
Oh, another early 2000s car I remember were the Kias. The old school Kias.
The old school Kias,
With the 4 doors.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. I used to love Saturns back in the day. I used to love Saturns. My bad about that burp. I just ate.
Like right in my face. Jeez. All right. Next slide.
Picture.
So the interior. Yeah.
So 70s interior.
Look at that steering wheel.
It's so damn big.
It was so big,
but
at
the same time, that I think that's what car is that? Can you tell from the interior?
I don't know exactly.
It's a super old school, and it's a big body. So that's why the steering wheel was so damn big. You had to be able to turn in that bitch. Had to be able to flip that bitch. Them seats look absolutely amazing. Look very comfortable. The radio station, remember you had the little knob that you could turn, and then make the little snowy noise. Yeah, I remember that.
The dashboards were like, they were nice.
Really simple. It wasn't too much. It was literally just a glove box, the radio, AC thingies. So yeah, simple.
You get to the 80s. Here we go again. Like I said, they kind of remind me of a video game. Look at the dashboard. They remind me like driving on a video game.
Exactly.
You had like the cassette tape.
The interior of this picture reminds me of the old school Hondas. That one and the one under it from the 90s. But it was like a mixture of both.
Yeah.
Because it depended on which Honda you got. If you got a Civic, if you got an Accord, if you got a DX.
Yeah.
But 90s, I liked the dashboards in the 90s. Yeah, it was a lot going on. It would get dusty.
It looked like you was like in a spaceship.
With the cassette and the CD player, I used to be like, okay, we're doing everything. We got the cassettes, we got the CDs.
You know, in the 90s, they got more sleek with the dashboard too, because it started like to slant. They started having like a little bit more smoother
it wasn't just straight. It would give like a...
It was like a cardboard box.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
And then when you got to the early 2000s,
that's when it started to look futuristic. Yeah. Like, okay, what are we, in a car or a damn spaceship?
Yep.
But yeah, the early 2000s, I did love the dashes and the center consoles, just because I'm a button pusher. Your girl loves to push a button, twist a knob, all that. Love a good light up moment. So yeah, I was all for that. And
by the way, so in the 90s, they had the cassette tape in the console.
Yeah.
When you got to the 2000s, they had the cassette tape in the CD player. And then progressively, as you got through the 2000s, then they had like, you can put like a 6-disc CD changer.
Yeah, but when the CD changer used to be in the trunk.
Oh my god!
And you have to set up your CDs before you get in the car, or the day before.
Or even when they were in the front, and you hit a speed bump, man.
DJ scratch a lot. I was the queen of scratch CDs back in the day, y'all. Okay, I had oh my god. So leave a comment down below if you remember this CD. It was it was a Blackstreet CD, Power 106, with the DJ setup picture, and it was the I Like Big Butts CD. It had that song on it and a bunch of other ratchet songs, and that was one of the main CDs my dad would always play. I don't know why, but he would always play that, and he would like, come on, Lauren, put your hands up. I'm like, this is so embarrassing. Like,
well, hold on. So I didn't have a CD player in my car. So I had the the little cassette tape thing that you can buy that you could put.
That had the adapter
they had
to
the
the CD
adapter.
player. Yep. I remember that too. People had the whole setup with the cassette tape, and then they had the that's when they started making the CD things, the sticky things for the CDs to sit. So that's so funny. Man,
all right.
Why how times have
Those
changed.
were some good old days.
Jesus.
Wow.
Oh my God.
So now we're getting into the cars of today.
The Priuses, the Teslas, the hybrids, the electric, the gas, the both that do both.
Yeah. So you got the Teslas that have people talking to you apparently, or they're modified where other people can manipulate the car as you drive.
Yeah.
But they are not meant for you to just have the car on autopilot
the whole time.
The whole entire time.
Because it will run stop signs.
Should pay attention.
Okay.
But there's simulation. That's what I meant. People in the office that primarily sit down and can maneuver your vehicle for you. And then you got the electric cars that, well, and some of the Teslas plug up. Not all of them, but some of them do. You have the electric cars
that are like whisper silent. Like you don't even know the damn car is on. I've seen people at the light. They'll be stopped in like, the newer cars that do the gas saving thing where it like cuts off or idles or whatever. And the poor person didn't know if the car turned on or stalled. So they kept doing the key at the light. I'm like, no, you're going to ruin your starter by doing that.
Which, by the way, electric cars are a good investment. You guys take advantage of electric car. If you can't afford one right now, take advantage of it. Because they're giving really good tax breaks for some of these electric cars. So they're a very good investment. Then you have the hybrid car. That's what we have. We have a hybrid.
We have a hybrid. It's okay. It's nothing fancy. It's literally like an everyday regular car.
They say that it's like really good on gas. I don't really see the difference.
It's okay on gas. Like I don't see much of a difference. It's the same.
It's the same.
But like 30 to fill up, give or take, depending on where you are.
40, almost 40.
Now.
Yeah, well, where we're at,
right
here in expensive ass LA. Shit, and then you have just the
cars that do both.
Luxury.
That's confusing.
The luxury cars. Now, look at that.
Porsche?
Mustang.
No, Mustang.
That's a Mustang.
I thought it was
the
a
new
Porsche.
Mustang.
No,
exactly.
it's a Mustang.
A Mustang SUV. That's the new Mustang SUV. So, we didn't even get to talk about SUVs too. Yeah. So fun fact, SUVs came out when? In the early 1930s?
The first SUV was like 1936.
1936.
And then Jeep established it a couple years later, not even 10 years later. But so the first SUV came out in the 30s or 40s.
But they really, really became popular in the 80s. In the 80s, and then more and more people started getting them in the 90s. I remember used to seeing the Jeep Cherokees and
everywhere.
The Broncos, the Blazers. And then in the 90s, I want to say the Jeep Wranglers. That's when the Jeep Wranglers became a big thing, and now they're super big out here, especially in California. Yeah,
because everyone likes to go on long freeway trips, the beach. People like to travel that live here. They'll travel just to come. They'll travel all day just to come back, or they'll travel somewhere just to sit there and be there for 2 hours just to drive back. That's just how it is out here.
Now let's get into the interior of the cars of today. Ooh.
I love this new age interior. It is so sleek and fancy and sexy. Yes. And I love when people go all out and do neon lights on the inside and stuff, make it look like the club in the car. For a second it looks really cool, but don't put that on while you're driving because it's very dangerous. You could crash, or someone could crash from being distracted by you.
I feel like we can get so lost in the technology because there's so many buttons, there's so many features, so many things that's going on, but it looks so good. It looks so sleek. Look at that, the Tesla, the monitor. It just looks. It
freaking
can look
huge.
really. It can be a
It's
little
like an iPad.
complicated and
It's like an iPad.
intimidating.
Yeah.
I feel like an older person will find that very intimidating.
It'll be like, what is this?
Like, what is all this shit?
Get me out of this.
What am I flying? A plane? What is this? But the other course, oh my God, that Infinity. Oh my God, that leather.
I love that.
Oh.
You know what I missed from back in the day?
Mm-hmm.
Wood grain.
Wood grain. But you know, some cores still have wood grain in them. But they don't look...
Some, but it's not like
authentic.
The throwback wood grain where it's actual wood grain. Like in the car. Yeah. Now it's like fiberglass painted like wood grain. So it's not the same. It doesn't smell the same. Doesn't feel the same. Like
even the texture of the seats, they look good. Yeah. But they're made very cheaply. They're not like as authentic as the seats were made back in the day.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But it looks good.
Yeah.
It looks good. My personal opinion, I would take the body shape or the body frame from the old school 70 cores and implement the new interior from today.
Right. I totally get that and I feel that. But with that, I think the bodies would probably be too heavy for the engines that they have now. You know what I mean? Yeah. If you're into cars, drop some tidbits.
But you can keep. I mean, as far as like the inside, the motor, all of that, I would want to keep all of that. I'm just saying, just take the interior portion. Yeah. Of the newer vehicles. Yeah. And put it in the old school vehicle
with the old
like
school
Pimp
body.
My Ride.
Oh.
Like how they did on Pimp My Ride. Yeah.
That's a whole, we're going to talk about that in a, we're going to do a reaction for that. That's a whole other rabbit hole we're going to go down.
She used to look so fucking good.
And crazy. But I do have to say, with cars, there is always some sort of comfort level for me. And I think it's just because driving and being in the car was always so calming and you just enjoy the scenery, look outside. A lot of times I would like look at like other cars or people driving. I'm like, oh, I wonder what it would be like to go there. Or when you're driving and you see like a nice ass house or a nice like resort or something from the freeway, you're like, oh, I wonder what that's like. Yeah. I would always do that all the time.
And not to mention all the new accommodations that they put in the cars now that we didn't have back in the day.
Right.
Heated seats.
OnStar.
Cooling seats.
Anti-lock brakes.
Oh, man. Yeah.
Sensors to where you don't have to slam your brakes on. The sensor will literally slam the brakes on for you to avoid a friggin' accident.
There's only one sensor that gets on my damn nerves in these new cars. And it's that damn seatbelt sensor. Okay, damn it. I know. I'm putting my damn seatbelt on.
One thing I've noticed, if anyone notices, please leave a like and put it in the comments. If you don't put your seatbelt on, the ding will get louder and louder and louder. And
oh my God.
It'll get loud and then it will like double beep.
Yeah.
Like did-it, like, oh, it's so annoying.
And then, don't mention the features of the rear view mirrors. Like, they can censor, like, when other vehicles are beside you.
Yeah, and it'll blink on the dash.
It'll blink on the dash
collision,
or blink on the
possible
rear view
collision or something like that. Like, it's crazy.
They have so many new features. Oh, navigation. Not to speak, we didn't have navigation
Wi-Fi in the car now.
And some of the, like, but most of them, they're like aftermarket. You can get like the rear view mirror. You can get like the back mirror camera.
Oh yeah, you could the rear view camera.
And people, stop relying on that damn rear view camera. You should be turning your head and looking in back of you
like this.
Exactly.
Okay.
Jeez.
Check your blind spots.
Before you hit somebody.
Check your blind spots multiple times before doing anything in the car. Because before you know it, a motorcycle could come out of nowhere or another car could zoom in.
And it'll be all over.
Exactly.
It'll be all over.
In the blink of an eye.
Yeah. Well, great, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please leave us some comments. Any new topics you would like to see. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And we love you guys. We love you, LA gang.
Stay tuned. Right. Food Friday tomorrow.
Yep. Peace.
Bye.
Bark.